But before that, right? Can I talk about it wouldn't really be an insert if it's an already existing character, but it's like another branch on the timeline type shit of like the whole, like I kind of added on to I kind of added on to the little drawing and I just kind of started creating, like I've created a alternative. I want to talk about it a little bit, where in this timeline, I imagine that she's dating the, you know, the bartender dude, right? Except the only difference is that he doesn't, like, I don't know how it works, like, I'm pretty sure it's the, like, you know, the side, the little neck thing, right, that creates the mist to hide his identity or use his power, whatever the fuck, right? He doesn't have that, right? He still has his abilities, but he's just some dude, right? And ah shit, let me check something. What do you mean fucking quality control? Control this pussy, bitch. Quality control. Yeah, sorry, just checking. Yeah, so it's just a regular dude. Like, his hands kind of, you know, turn into, like, the magical, pardon me. His hands basically turn into little purple, blackish orbs whenever he's using his powers. But, also, fuck, sorry. I also imagine that, like, kind of, whenever he gets pissed, he's like one of those characters that kind of keeps their eyes closed until they're fucking, like, really pissed. So, like, his face completely darkens to try and mimic, like, the whole, like, the way he is in the canon. And so, like, his hair starts levitating and, like, so, like, it's almost like his hair is in space. And it's, like, levitating whenever he shows extreme rage and frustration. And I just think it's beautiful in the way of, like, the face darkens, but the only thing glowing, like, in the dark space is just the bright, sharp yellow eyes. Like the eyes of a predator, if that makes sense, right? But other than that, he's actually a really calm dude. I haven't really added much. You know, as I said, him and the femme Shigaraki are dating. She's also completely, like, she's kind of like a tsundere, but just a fucking bitch. Like, in a complete, constantly nagging. Like, basically, think of a Karen, but a bitchy Karen. Constantly downplays others' efforts. Constantly shit-talk others. Constantly nagging, right? And it almost feels like, right? It's like there's, like, she never has anything good to say, and she just keeps yabbering her mouth about things she doesn't like, right? Plus, she's extremely picky and a perfectionist, right? Or like a soft perfectionist, if that makes sense. Like, she's not gonna go out of the way to make everything perfect, but she'll completely fucking demoralize you for not doing things her way, right? And I think the only time she has, you know, has, like, ever showed joy or actual gratitude is just little events where it's mostly with her significant other, but it can be from a joke she heard, which is rare, where, like, the whole room will go silent and stare at her because they've never seen her in such a joyous mood, right? So like she does tolerate her teammates, but you know she's very egotistical and full of herself, right? And so I think it kind of, the only one who can really tolerate her is her significant other, because he's just trying to do his job and has a constant smile that deals with her, right? Like, I think at first she was a real annoyance, but he was just doing his job, but didn't really like talking to her, so he didn't say anything. But like, I imagine, right, after like they got in, he jokingly calls her, like, you know how like the original calls him young master, right? Like, so he sarcastically calls her young, you know, oh fuck, like something like young madam or young lady or some shit like that, right? Or like in a sarcastic manner, but hearing her face just goes bright red hearing such, she thinks is like a compliment or like being kind. And he says it to like, at first he says it to like mess with her because, you know, it somewhat gets her to shut up when she's being bashful. But like, now that they're together, he says it because he likes seeing her face and smile up. And like, despite what other people would think, he does not care for her, like, body in the sense of like, wow, massive tits, you know, such a win. He just loves her for her, surprisingly, because there's not much to love. I also, like, imagine she wouldn't really get along with Toga because Toga would constantly refer to her as outdated and an old hag. So like, yeah, the I can't remember the dude with the powers, but like, you know, the portal powers, but it's like, in this variant, he can really, like, he doesn't really care. He has a tolerance for people talking bad about this Shigaraki, but like, he does have a limit, right? And his face slowly, like, is losing its composure, and it's like, okay, time to reel it in. We don't want to know what happens when you kind of push that line, right? And she does evolve as a character, but not much, because she's still bitchy, but she still will learn about, you know, having family and such like that, right? So she's still bitchy, but she's more tolerable later on. And I imagine she considers Awful One her, like, at least father figure, but he can't really tolerate her that much either, so sometimes he'll emotionally, mentally, or physically, you know, abuse her from time to time to put her in place. So the only time she can, like, mouth off to anyone is her own teammate. And Awful One is the only one allowing, like, you know, allowing him and this variant to date. In return, that whenever something like, you know, the abuse happens, he has to stand on the sideline and watch her and keep her corrected. Where most of the time, he doesn't really do that. I mean, he does kind of look the other way, but painfully so, you know, hearing her cries of pain. But, like, he's doing it so they can be together, because it's like, what if she, you know, he's like, what if she gets into trouble, right? Because she's very ill-rationed and tempered, and, you know, with her quirk, she may actually, like, they're villains, but they have to have some motto. They can't be just going around killing anyone and everyone that disagrees with them. You know what I mean? And I think at some point, he kind of, like, puts his foot down and, like, has to leave the relationship. Not because he wants to, but it's like, oh, if you don't do this, then, you know, you can't be together. It's like, well, if it makes her happy, then who am I to stop her from doing so-and-so? And if it means sacrificing my love for her, then, yeah, maybe I'll sacrifice that, you know? And they kind of, like, when he gets to prison, they kind of, like, it's like actors dating undercover, like they're going on secret dates and stuff. Although that can be difficult at times with the way how she's doing it. But she has over time grown to live, over time she's grown like a meter of how much she can try to be tolerable. But after a while, she like, it's like, okay, we gotta leave before she starts making a scene, you know? And, you know, again, they love each other for each other, so I imagine that it's not that they would never have sex, but they don't have sex in my timeline. Where they'll hold each other, cuddle, all this romantic shit, but they won't actually have any, like, erotic scenarios involving any, like, penetration, blowjob, shit like that, you know? Nothing happens like that. Which I think is really funny considering how I made the design so over-sexualized. I just find that kind of funny now. If I had a quarter for creating thick, over-sexualized characters that have no interest in sex, I'd have 2 quarters. It isn't a lot, but it's strange that it happened twice. Yeah, but it's like... because I want to kind of animate some just shitpost bits for fun. Nothing story-wise. Although I feel like if you want more about the story... it's like, it kind of continues the same way the base timeline canon story goes. Although, you know, some relationship roles are switched around, you know? Like how I feel like she would have a disdain, she would have, no pun intended, a disdain for Stain, right? For, I can't remember the reason the canon one didn't like it, but I think they have a disdain for him because, mostly because the way they should harm people are different, right? Well, Stain doesn't really harm, but you get what I mean. He doesn't do it just to kill or for the fun of it. He has a reason, right? But this variant Shigaraki thinks like, oh, you know, you should just kind of turn them to dust. You know, it's much less bloodier that way. Plus, blood is, ugh. Because, like, she can't really tolerate, you know, type of bodily fluids. Which is, but like, when she's in her, like, villain mode, it's kind of blocked out with the enjoyment of inflicting pain on others. So it's like, there's no blood inside, or it's kind of, like, somehow nerfed her dislike for it. Yeah, sorry. That's enough, cringy talking for, you know, for today. I mean, I'll probably cringe talk about other characters, but it's confusing because a part of me thinks, like, this could be a Charlotte variant, but it has no features of a Charlotte variant, so I don't think it is. You guys can think it's a Charlotte variant, that's fair. But I really think I was bored and horny and just wanted to draw a fat-breasted Shigaraki. And now I kind of just made it its own story. Anyway, let me find music and we'll do 20 more...
You can fight online
we'll do 20 more battles if we can, at least. I think it's 20.
Let's take this casually. Opponent found! My heart's pounding!
I will destroy this rotten society. Round one! Ready? Clash! Sneak attack! You're kidding.
Focus on the left! Attacks too! It's for transport! Boosters! Power the lights! No, it's not!
Destroy!
No!
I can't stand it!
Effective one! So many uses!
You won't get away! Nothing good! Destroy!
For my baby! Not bad! Strike
No
true!
good! Here!
Leave it to me!
Wasn't finished! Not bad! Strike true!
Ahead of myself!
Use this! Careful using it!
Just not so fast!
No!
You're busy!
A special guest appearance!
Use the legs!
Wait a
Strike true! Not bad! Unleash! Go the
Just
presentation over!
Round two! Ready? Clash! I want to break something.
Use this time to escape! Boosters on! Power the light! With jet! So many uses! Focus on the left! That's it!
You won't get away. You're kidding.
Here in a jiffy! Sit!
Lightly!
Leave it to me!
Now die.
Attacks too! It's for transport! Power the light! Lock on!
Just die.
Have this! Boost so many uses!
Just die. You bad.
For my babies!
Ahead of myself. Not so
Getting a
fast.
little
I'm
rickety!
riled up.
Not good now!
Let me kill you.
A special guest
It
appearance!
wasn't finished!
I'm riled up.
Strike true! Not bad!
Just
No, it's not!
You're busy. All right, time to die. I'm riled up.
Use the legs! Strike true!
Ahead of myself.
For my
Here in a
baby!
jiffy! I'm coming for you!
Let me kill you.
Program didn't...
Player 2 wins. All of your hard work will be for nothing.
Searching for the next opponent.